I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of two things I had a right to, liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track and I never lost a passenger. I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. I would fight for my liberty so long as my strength lasted, and if the time came for me to go, the Lord would let them take me. Quakers almost as good as colored. They call themselves friends and you can trust them every time. I was a stranger in a strange land, and my home after all was down in Maryland because my father, my mother, my brothers, and sisters and friends were there. But I was free and they should be free. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. There's two things I got a right to, and these are death or liberty. One or the other, I mean to have. I had crossed the line. I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I was a stranger in a strange land. I grew up like a neglected weed, ignorant of liberty, having no experience of it. I never lost my faith in God. I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person now I was free. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came up like gold through the trees, and I felt like I was in heaven. I was free, but there was no happiness in freedom. I mourned my lost family. I was a conductor on the Underground Railroad, carrying the load of many passengers, giving them hope when it seemed no hope was available, shining the light in the darkness of slavery. I had crossed the line. I was no longer a slave, I was a free woman. But I knew I could never be free while my people were still enslaved. I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of two things I had a right to, liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other. I had to put my life in my hands and risk it all for the chance to be free. I never lost sight of my purpose, to bring as many enslaved people as possible to freedom. I would fight with all my might to ensure that no person should live in bondage. I knew what it was like to be treated as property, and I was determined to help others escape that fate. I carried the weight of their hopes and dreams on my shoulders, and I would not let them down. I may be a woman, but I am just as strong and capable as any man. Fear was not an option for me. I had to be brave and bold in the face of danger. I had to navigate treacherous paths and hostile territories to lead my people to freedom. I believed in the power of collective action and the strength of unity. My life's mission was not just to free bodies but to inspire hearts and minds.